Hi everybody, welcome to Caketastic Cakes. It's Jen. I'm going to show you today how to make Rainbow Dash from My Little Pony out of gumpaste. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and here we go. All right, I'm jumping right into this, so you're going to have to bear with me here. I have the leg that I'm beginning to start, and here is the body. I had to make the body, there it is, the day before, and I lost the footage for it. So you can see it's tapered and rounded and long, and then bends upward because she's going to be standing upright, so the neck, there you go, you can see it again, has to go upward. You have to let it sit overnight so it can harden. This one takes a couple days to make, okay? Now as far as the back legs go, I'm going to show you right here. If you've seen the other My Little Pony videos, you're going to know that they're tapered at the end where the hoof is, that they flare out. So it's the same idea here. I'm using that tool to press a little indentation there up in the top of the thigh, I guess, and then I'm pressing kind of flat right above it. This is to give and then bending it. You see how it's kind of curved now? This is to give that, you know, how horses have the distinct curve in their back leg, how it goes out back behind them and then down. The My Little Ponies have it too, so that's really the only distinct feature they have that you want to make sure you get it in there. I've flattened off that top piece that's going to go up around the side of the rump, I guess you want to call it. And I'm going to very carefully stick a lollipop stick in it. When you're ready, see I was measuring it up, make sure it's a good length and everything. And then when you're ready, stick that lollipop stick down in the thick part only of the leg. It's going to change the shape a little, but you'll fix it. But you can see the flat part there, I didn't mess with it. That's so that the lollipop stick will go into that hole that I drilled there in the body, and the side flap will go up and just lay against the side of the pony. Because you let the body harden, you're going to have to make a little pilot hole for those sticks to go into. You can't just shove it in. You will end up cracking the body, and it can be really bad and very frustrating. Okay, she's going to be freestanding, so once you get the leg in, make sure they match up. Make sure she stands even and they're not too close together. You see that? Looking good, right? Okay, just take your time with this. She's got to harden. That body has to be hard. All right, I'm going to show you now a front leg. I have one leg coming down straight and the other leg I have bent up. And I was trying to make it look more Rainbow Dashy because she has a lot of energy and spunk, and you know, you don't just see her standing still. She's always kind of moving or ready to move. So that's what I'm going for here. This leg is going to be going straight down. I'm just measuring it up against the back feet to make sure it's the right thickness. And then I'm going to get the length of it right. We're going to make it pretty much the same as the back leg, where it's going to have the little side flap, but it's going to be very small because this is the front leg. It's not a back leg. Okay, so I'm just remeasuring it, checking the thickness, and there, you see how I cut it at an angle? That's all the flap that it's going to get. I'm just going to press down that little spot, and that's all. It's not going to be a big one like the back legs, okay? But the same idea with the stick when you shove it in. You're just going to shove it down the fat area of the leg, and like you could see there, it got smushed out. You're going to have to fix it. Just be patient with it. It's not hard. You just got to take your time with it. So once you get it back to the right shape and thickness and length, make sure they match up because we do want her to stand. We're not cheating like the other ones and making them sit or lay. And here is what I was talking about before. I'm using my X-Acto knife and I'm just carving out a little pilot hole. Once you get past the outer layer, you're going to find that it's still pretty soft inside, so that's not a concern. You just got to carve it gently, carve it out, don't crack it, okay? Once you get it good and positioned properly, a little bit of water and press it down into the hole gently. Don't press it too far or you're going to lose the proper length for the feet, and that just sucks. So let me just tell you there. This I am doing for the other leg. I am going to have it, so I'm matching up the length, and now I'm going to bend it like I said before, and like you saw in the intro picture. Her leg is bent. She's got it kind of tucked up under her like she's ready to stomp or run or gesture or whatever. She's ready to be Rainbow Dashy. And then because I have changed the position of the leg, where we're going to place the lollipop stick and everything is going to be a little different too. We're going to shove it into the top part of the leg, I guess the bicep part of the leg. That little outer flap is still there, as you can see right there. And the hole that I'm making is more toward the front of the chest instead of right underneath it like the other three are. Okay, so that way when the leg gets positioned, it'll be more toward the front of the body and not just toward underneath or the side or anything like that. So yeah, you can see what I'm doing there. And there you go. Like, I really like how this body came out. It looks like I took one of my old ponies and just popped the head and tail off. I think it really came out nice. And there you go. You can really see how it looks with the leg tucked up. It really is starting to have that effect. And look, it stands. You see that? Now, because she is freestanding here, doesn't mean once we add the head and everything, she's going to stay freestanding. But we're going to work the tail and everything in so that it will counterbalance and she'll keep standing. So don't worry about that right now. I'm doing the head. If you've seen, again, my other videos on My Little Pony, they have a big round head. It's kind of tall. It's got a little tiny snout that is very flat on the top and then kind of curves underneath like a duckbill. And once you get that little snout there, it's very not detailed, so there's not a lot to do. Just give it a little snout and you're probably going to have a good enough look for it. These are just the eye sockets. They have very big, deep eyes. They are not close together on the front of the face. They go more toward the outsides of the face, but they are not on the sides of the face, all right? So like on the outside of the little muzzle, very nice and tall, fills up most of the front of the face, then you'll be good. I'm using my little veiny tool to poke 2 little nostrils into her snout there. And I'm also using it to press down. I'm going to make an indentation of where I kind of want her smiley snarl face that I made for her to be. You don't have to do the face that I made if you don't want to. You know, make her just happy and smiley. You've probably seen enough of My Little Ponies by now. You can figure out how to make a whatever face or expression, that you're looking for. All right, this is the one that I did. I tried to make her look, again, Rainbow Dashy, fierce and excited and ready to go. So I'm just carefully pressing out kind of a sideways smile. I'm going to eventually fill it in with white, but we're not quite there yet. Just very carefully. Because the mouth is so small, the muzzle, you have to be careful with the mouth. You don't want to make it too big. And because the head is wet and the neck is very dry, instead of using a lollipop stick, I just used a piece of spaghetti to attach the two. The head is, like I said, very round. The snout is small, so it's pretty balanced. I tucked a piece of gum paste under that one leg to hold it in place and just keep her balanced until I get the tail on. I rolled out, as you can see, blue, purple, and green. I don't know if it looks purple to you guys, but trust me when I say it's purple, blue, and green. And this is going to become the back part of her mane. I rolled it out, kind of flattened it out. And now I'm just kind of getting the size and the feel of how I want it to lay. Trim it off till you get a good length. Her mane is not short, but there's not a lot to it. Her main thing that she's got going is just the color that she has. She's not like the other ones that have basically one color or a stripe. She's got a lot of colors, but she doesn't have the curls or the flips or anything like that. She just has the mane that comes around and is a little scraggly and just kind of lays there. So I respect her with her hair and her mane choices, I gotta say. Okay, once you get into position, just put some water in between the layers or the colors, because as you can see, they don't want to be together. Keep that little wedge there. I just use a piece of gum paste. Use whatever you got, paper towel, something. Just hold it in place. If you do use a paper towel, make sure that leg is dry first. Otherwise, you're going to get paper towel prints on your soft gum paste, and it'll look like she has, chicken pox or something. If you guys know what chicken pox is anymore. Okay, now I'm going to do some more of her tail. I'm taking the colors that I had before, roll them out, add some orange, yellow, and red. And I don't think the order of the colors mattered for her tail because I ended up twisting it all around anyway. It's just the mane you have to be careful with how you place the colors. So as long as you have those 6 colors, you'll be fine. It makes for a really big tail. So you're going to have to squeeze it and trim it down like I did there. Otherwise, it's just going to be this massive bunch of cables coming out of her butt. And you can see I twisted it around to the side where her one leg is coming up in the air. This is going to give it that extra little bit of balance and support on that side, like I mentioned earlier. So once that tail hardens, she's going to be able to stand without any problems. Alrighty. This is the top part of her mane, the part that's going to come over her head and between her ears. This part was kind of a pain in the butt, honestly, to make. It's the red, orange, and yellow. You got to put them all together, and then you have to lay them on top of her head to make sure you get it lined up right. And then you start trimming it off because it's narrow at the top of her mane where it connects with the back part, but then it flares out real big. So that's what I'm doing here. I just kept putting it on top of her head and trimming it away however I kind of saw fit. And I ended up with almost like a scallop shell shape, if you can imagine that. You know, the pointy end with a big, how it flares out wide and round at the top. And then I started cutting out angles because she is angular with her hair. She is not flowy or gentle. She is angular. So I started cutting out wedges, and it was kind of a pain because it was a little bit too long. And if you look at pictures of her, you're going to see certain colored tufts that stick out. That's what I was trying to emulate here. She has the one yellow one, that piece that sticks out. The orange comes out pretty far, and then it kind of blends into the red. You're going to see me make a cut right there that kind of brings the red and the orange together. So do the best you can. You're going to end up trimming it down. It's going to feel like you're losing all of your red if you did it like I do. But just do the best you can with it. It's, like I said, it's a pain, but you can do it. And as long as you have the colors in the right order and make it spiky looking, I am pretty sure any kid you make this for is not going to throw it on the ground and be like, no, I hate this. All right. So there you go again. I'm just creating little spikes, trimming it off again until I eventually get this flame-looking shape that I laid over her head, and it matched up kind of with the purple, blue, and green on the back of her head. If I had this to do over again, I probably would have put a little ball of gum paste underneath the orange in the hair to make it come up off her head a little more, because right now it looks very flat. Hindsight 2020, you guys can learn from my mistake. You know, try to lift the hair up, make it a little more full, full-bodied. This is her ear, as I'm sure you probably guessed. Just a teardrop shape, press it down in the center, stick it on the side. Again, hindsight, I think I would have liked to have lifted the ears up a little higher on her head. I feel like they were probably a little too low to the sides. So, learn from my mistake, people. There you go. That's right, I'm human too. Who knew, right? All right, I skipped a bit here because, again, lost footage. I made all these ponies at the same time and mixed all of the footage together, and then I had to pick apart everything I did, and it was a nightmare. As you can see, I filled in the eyes with white. Her irises are hot pink, big black pupils in the center of them, and that's it. White for the teeth in her snarly smile thing, whatever I've got going on. And I'm giving her eyelids on her upper eyelids to try to make her look like she's like more focused and kind of ready for it. And I don't know how to express the attitude I'm going for, but you get it. If you guys have watched My Little Pony at all, you'll understand she's kind of got that fire in her. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I've got the eyelids, and they are slightly coming down in the center. They're slightly angled down toward the center. She's not quite flat across, as you can see there. Okay, and you can also see her tail is stiff, so now she stands freely. So there you go. See, I wasn't lying to you. We're doing her eyelashes now. She's not quite as eyelashy and blinky as, say, Pinkie Pie or Rarity, but she still does have it going on, so you got to make sure you represent. I made it a little bit extra long, as you can see. Just fold up the inner part of the eyelash along the crease of the eyelid. It's on the outside of the eyelid that it's going to flare out a little bit. So will I show you it again? Yes, I will. Look at that. So there it is. The inner part, as you can see, is folded up following the seam. The outer one just kind of flares out a little bit. And make sure it doesn't look all weird and press it. There you go. Pretty good, right? Not too bad. Yeah, that mane needs a little work. Do better than me, guys. I'm using my edible food coloring marker to do the bottom eyelashes. She does have 3, just like the other ponies. So make sure you get them in there. They're kind of together, as you can see, kind of off to the side. One little highlight for her, because she's not overly enthused like Pinkie Pie was in the other video. So one on one side, one on the other side. And there you go. Now we're going to work on wings. That little oval disc there that looks like a piece of slime or silly putty is going to be a wing. I'm using that cutter, the circle cutter, to make 2 prints. I'm using a small one to connect them to make a hump, as you can see. So I got 3 little humps with the one in the middle sticking out further. I'm doing her wings against her body. I've told you guys this before. I ship these decorations that I make a lot of times through the mail, so I have to have things tight to the body. And I made lines that you can see right there to demonstrate the different feathers in her wings. There's 4 lines, one down the center of the middle lump. Oh, excuse me, three lines. Jeez, I can't even count. 4 sections. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, right. And yeah, so you can see where through the middle of each of the humps, make a line coming out. That's all you got to do. Do the same thing on the other side. The mane is going to be in the way a little bit. I did trim the wing. I probably should have trimmed it more, honestly, to make it lay symmetrical with the first wing, or I should have pushed the first wing back a little bit. But I didn't because, you know, I think of these things as I watch the videos I make. I'm just accenting the divide between the feathers a little bit with that tool. Use your knife, use your veining tool, whatever you got. Her cutie spot is a lightning bolt coming out of a cloud. So I did red, I did blue edible food coloring marker, and then I'm pushing a little blob of white, and I'm going to just use my pokey tool there, that's the official name, to make little divides to make it look more like a cloud. And do the same thing on the other side. And this is where you're really going to see that the wings are uneven because the cutie spots don't line up. So I made a little bit of white. There's only the tip of the one showing. I tried to make the cutie spots as even as I could. But even though it's a little uneven, she still is really good. So hopefully you will like this video. Check out my other ones. Thank you for watching. And if you make any of these things, email them to me. I'd love to see them. I'll show them off for you. Thank you very much. Bye.